Luminar Neo has two great new tools, and Skylum has also a great Black Friday deal for Luminar Neo. Hi, it's Peter here, and let's get right into the business after the disclaimer. Skylum, the maker of Luminar Neo, sent me this beta version of their new tools or their new software version of Luminar Neo, but they did not ask me to make this video, nor have they seen it before. And of course, everything I say is based on my own opinion. Skylum has not told me what to say in this video. However, I do have affiliate links to their Black Friday deal, which I will talk a bit later. But let's first look what the new tools are. The new tools are GenErase and GenSwap. GenErase can erase elements from your photograph, things that I will show a bit later how that works and is it any good. And GenSwap can add things to your images, and I will show how that works too. I think this is a right path for Skylum to take Luminar Neo because, of course, it's one of the first, or maybe the Luminar AI was one of the first image editing software that really used the full potential of AI. Now other softwares have taken up also AI in their software. But these two new tools are interesting, and I will also talk about the ethics of using these and show how they work, of course, and what the results are, and of course what I think about them. Let's first look GenErase. With GenErase you can erase elements and things from your image if you want, and it's a very useful tool if you have some distracting elements in your images to remove them so that they aren't there anymore to distract your image or the viewer to see the subject in your image. Sometimes when you photograph, it's a thing that we just cannot avoid, especially if we're photographing in the cities. There are so many elements that might be distracting, so we might want to remove them. And of course, you can use clone tool, but I think AI is much better in many cases to erase things in your images. Now let's see how good GenErase is. Here is an image that is an easy task. It did a good job. It is very easy. Just press the GenErase tool and paint the area you want to erase. The brush size can be adjusted. And you can correct the area you painted with deselecting. So painting away and painting on the red color to the place that you want to erase. And it's usually good to paint slightly over the subject you want to erase so that it has more information to fill in instead of the thing that's there. And once you have done this, press erase button and AI will do its magic. This was an easy task, so the result is quite good. But let's test something that is a bit harder. I'm trying to remove this person. I usually would not erase something like this from a street photograph, but let's do it for the purpose of testing how good it is. And I think it made a pretty good job. Unfortunately, the result is a new image and not so that the new area is a layer, and it will only give you one option. So you have to go with what it gives you. But if you're not satisfied, you can do it again. But of course, it would be interesting if it was on a layer and it gave you more than one result. But what if I want to remove these cars? And here again, it did a good job. The structure or the look and feel of the new door and street is not as good as it would have been if the cars went there. And of course the door looks different, but I don't think that's a big deal. But there isn't the same type of structure or feel on the image. The surface looks a bit different. But I think as a shape and content, it did a very good job. And of course you can tweak this and add some grain or something like that if you want. But that's an extra job, and it's not on a layer, so it's a bit harder. But I think it did a good job, and most likely you won't notice that it's AI generated thing in there. So I think the tool works quite well. I did test it before, the first version, and I don't know, maybe I did something wrong with it because it was terrible. Oh, they have changed it. But now I can assure that it works well. And because of that, I didn't make the video back then because I didn't think it was good enough. Now that I'm testing it again, I can see that they have improved it, or I did a better job painting the area that I wanted to erase. Don't know what has happened. So what do you think about this type of tool? Would you use this erase and or clone tools or any other software that has similar type of GenErase type tools. What are your thoughts on that? And next, let's talk about the ethics of this. It's totally okay if you're using your own images, artistic way, you just want them to look better and there is something distracting that you want to take out. I think it's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But of course, if you're doing documentary or journalism, then this is a big no-no. You can't do that. And of course, in classical street photography, this is not considered to be the best practice or something that you should do. You should have authentic images when you're doing street photographs the classical way. My opinion is that, of course, if you want to make your image better, I think the end image is the one that counts, because an illustration, just an image, I think it only matters what the image looks like. It doesn't really matter if there is something removed, because you don't really alter the idea or your pre-visualization when you took the image. That's something that you should always think, okay, I will remove that. I'll take the image, but that will be distracting and I'll remove it later. And I think it's totally okay in your own images. But remember, if it's a documentary or journalism or maybe a nature photograph, then it might be a bit different thing, and especially documentary and journalism, big no-no. But what about GenSwap? Let's add Santa Claus to this wall. I was in Brussels and they were building these Christmas marketplaces where they had these, little kiosks, and they were still building them. So there was nothing happening, unfortunately. I was like a week or two too early there. It would have been great to see all those fancy lights and stuff. But let's add a Santa Claus to the wall here. The way it goes, you paint the area where you want to add, and then you prompt the text. And it will give you some insights and tips while it's making its magic. And as you see, Santa Claus here doesn't look very natural. The problem here is that it's kind of like a sticker that's on it. It doesn't have the same feeling, and of course, because it's not on a layer, you can't see the structure of the wood behind. That it wouldn't be like this. So it's in that sense not a very good result. And then I have this image. Let's see what happens if I add a boat to it. I paint the area and then adding a boat to it. Yeah, slightly better, but still not very believable. You can see that it's kind of like put there and it doesn't take account the light or the structure of the image. It doesn't understand the grain of the image. Maybe I should paint a bit larger area. That could probably work, but this type of adding stuff don't work. But then this one worked. I added some palm trees to this image and this looks a lot better. So the way to do it is to test and see if it works. But to be honest, this type of tool I won't be using that much at all, because I don't think that adding stuff to this could be, of course, advertisement and all that type of things. It could be an illustration. You might do some funky things and add some really strange things. Yes, that could work. Why not? But for fun, you could add something and make some, like I said, wacky images that has some odd things in it. But in general use, I don't think this, for me at least, is not something that I will be using. So what do I think about all this? Well, I already said a few things, but I think the Skylum is at the right path when they're doing this. And, the GenErase tool is really good if you have some distracting elements that you want to remove. But as I said already, the GenSwap is not something that I will use that much. But having it there is, of course, they need to have it because other softwares have it and people want to play around with it. And, we've already seen in some of the Luminar software we had the sky swap, so we're replacing the sky and all that. And yeah, they might have their place to be in illustrations and advertisement and stuff like that. But I wouldn't change the sky or add anything to my images what I take in the streets. I might erase something, but I wouldn't add anything to them because they're artificial. They're not really photographed there. So it's something that I don't really like. But yeah, if you want to do it, it's up to you. What do you think about this? What are your thoughts on all this? Please tell us in the comments down below. And then the Black Friday deal. Skylum runs a Black Friday deal from today, the 17th, to this 27th of November 2023. So if you're watching this afterwards, sorry, the Black Friday deal is not anymore available, but they might have some other deals. So click the affiliate links and check what it is. And they have deals on different combos, and some of them are even biggest price reduction is 83% off on some other things. And as I said, check the links below, my affiliate links. And if you use this code JPeterF10, you will get it additional 10% off. So it's a good deal. So using the affiliate links does not raise the price. So you pay the same price, but at the same time, I get a small commission and you are in a win-win situation. You get a great software and at the same time, you support my free content. And there is more about Luminar Neo over there for you to watch. And if you haven't seen those videos before and don't really know what Luminar Neo can do, check out that playlist and see if that is something for you. But hey, thanks for watching and bye for now.